Hey everybody, how's it going? Before we get into this video, I just want to say that I now have merch. You guys can go and get it right now, and only for a limited time, you guys can get 15% off the entire store by just going to the link in the description and clicking the redeem button, and you got 15% off. So that's all I have to say, and let's get on with the video. Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Shankblocks, and today we're going to be making this window right here. This is a Abstract Roblox Head. A couple of you guys wanted to know how to make it in my Discord, which you should join, by the way. Link in the description. So the version I'm using today is 2.93.0. If you guys would like to download the latest version of Blender, then I'll leave it in the link down below. So let's just start off by deleting our default scene, and I'm going to import a Roblox character here, right here, and I only want the head for this, so everything else and just bring in the head. So first I'm just going to scale this up to be a pretty good size, and I'm going to hit Control A, apply the scale. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to where it says Edit, Preferences, because we're going to add on a add-on, and type in Cell, and then there should be an add-on called Cell Fracture, which you can just go and check. And if you want to, go down here and save your settings. So let's close that, and then we can hit F3 and type in Cell. Then we have Object, Quick Effects, Cell Fracture. Now for this, I'm going to set my source limit to 50 and the noise all the way up. Now, depending on your PC system, if you have a object with higher vertices and everything, it might crash. So just beware of that. So before we start doing this, what you want to do is just save this to somewhere. Just save it. I'm gonna name it just like Abstract Head, and I'll save it to my desktop. Save. So make sure you save it just in case your PC crashes. So one more time, save. So let's go back, F3, Cell Fracture, and give it source limit of 50 and noise to 1. Then once you're ready, you can hit OK. It's going to do all this weird cube stuff. So we are done with that. So what I'm going to select is the outer base of the head and just delete that. So now we actually have all of our tiny little pieces here. And what I'm going to do is select everything by pressing A. Go up to this tab up here and do individual origins. So when we set that, we can scale it down to about right there, and as you can see, we already have something pretty cool going on here. So just trying to find some face. So this could be the front. Yeah, right here could be the front, where we're going to add some other stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go over to the modifiers tab, and we're going to select this piece right here, and we're going to add in a remesh modifier. I'm going to set my size to 0.01. I wouldn't go any lower than that, or else it might crash your computer. And I'm going to turn on shade smoothing. So with that, we're going to select the piece that has the modifier and hit A. Now everything else selected, and we're going to hit Control L, but before we do that, I'm actually going to just delete that piece up there and make sure there's no other pieces that I don't want. Okay, so Control L, and we're gonna copy modifiers. There we go. So the same modifier that we got from this piece is now on all of the pieces. So let's move on. So now we're going to position our camera. So I'm just going to select everything and hit GZ, move it down a bit, or just leave it where it is. And since this could be the front of the head, I am going to hit Control A, add in the camera, and then hit Control Alt 0. Now we have our camera here, so I'm just gonna move this around something to around there, then select everything, and then move, let's see, move it over here a bit maybe, something like right there. Then I'm gonna hit R twice. Yeah, that might happen. So if that happens, just go back up here and change it back to median point. So now everything is back normal. So I'm gonna hit R twice and just move it to a pretty good spot. Maybe around there. Around there looks good. So now we're gonna go over to the camera settings here. So just select the camera and go over to the little camera icon and set the focal length to 85. Then just hit G and then middle mouse button to move it back. I'll hit GZ, move it up, hit G, move it back just a little bit more, and there we go. So now let's go into the material view here. Now let's go and quickly save this, just in case it crashes. Save, and let's move on. Okay, so let's now go into the shading up here. So if you're in layout, just go up here where it says shading, and now let's just choose one of the outer pieces here, and what I'm going to do is add in a mix shader between these here, just like that. And then actually, before I do that, I'm going to add in a color ramp. Plug the color into the base color, and let's see here. I'm going to change this to constant, and then I'm going to move the white to about 0.574 over there. And for the color, I'm just going to paste in this color code I have here. If you guys would like to copy this, and just pause the video and copy it from here. So enter, and now we have this kind of like a gold color here. So now I'm going to add in another color ramp. So I'm going to change this to constant as well, and get the white and move it to about 0.571, and then plug the color into the metallic right there. So I'm just gonna minimize that, into the metallic, and I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to plug the color of this color ramp down here to the roughness, and I'm going to do flip color ramp. So move this over here and take this and do 0.71, 0.71, just like that. And now I'm going to add in a noise texture and plug the factor to top color ramp, bottom the middle color ramp, and the bottom color ramp. Okay, and then I'm going to change the roughness to about 0.839 and detail to 12. And as you can see, we're already getting something really cool going on here. By the way, I'm in rendered view, and if you go into rendered view, make sure to hit this drop down and uncheck scene lights and scene world, so you can see it a little bit better. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is add in another color ramp up here, make it to constant, and then change this to about 0.510. So got that 0.510, just like that. So now what I'm going to do is add in a mapping node and a geometry node, and I'm going to plug the pointness into the top, so it goes into vector, and plug in the vector into color ramp. Now that's all set up, I'm going to add in a mix shader. See here, plug it into right here, and then get the color from this color ramp and plug it into the factor. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the principled shader and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to paste in the color code I have for kind of a orangey color here, and I'm going to set the roughness to about 0.104. Then I'm just going to plug this principled shader into the bottom of the mix shader right there. It might take a little while to load in. Okay. And I almost forgot, make sure that you are rendering in cycles and not EV, or else it won't look as good. So there we go. As you can see, we have these gold outlines right here on each of the pieces and a gold noise texture. So that is looking really cool. So let's move on. I forgot one last thing. On the color ramp that's attached to the base color, change the black to a white if you guys want to use a white. And we can now move on. Alright, so let's now let's just pick one of these pieces here and remove the texture on that piece. Yeah, remove the texture on that piece, hit new, and we're gonna go down and bring up the transmission all the way up, and the roughness to about 0.268, about there. And then I'm going to select this one, and that last one, and I'm gonna hit Control L again and link materials. So now the other two pieces have the same material that I have down here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select one of these pieces and I'm going to copy what we have up here, Control C, go back to one of these and Control V. And now let's move these down here, and I'm going to change this to 29 and the color to that color right there. Then I'm going to plug the color into the admission. Just like that. And as you can see, we have some orange stuff going on here. I'm also going to put the emission strength to 44.200. So we have some more stuff going on in here. So let's move on to some lighting and most likely rendering. So what we can do now is go back to layout, and I'm going to add in some lighting. So I'm going to go over to the world settings and change it to completely black. Go over to the rendered view right here and camera. Okay, so the first light I'm going to add in is an area light. So light, area light, and I'm going to GY, GX, and I'm going to UGZ. Let's see here, I'm going to set the power of the light to about 2000 and set the shape to a disk. Just like that. I'm going to hit R twice to move it around, and I just wanted to hit that side right there. Let's see, let's scale it up a little bit. GX, R, double R, and maybe something like that. Okay, so that is a little bit too close. So GY, move it back. So that should be good for that side. So now I'm going to add one on the other side. So duplicate this, GY, GX, R, and something about something about there. I'm gonna move it GY, maybe R right there. That looks a lot better. Now I'm going to add one last one on the bottom. So duplicate GX, GY, and GZ right there. Then we'll hit R twice and move it to the bottom. And I'm going to change the power of this to 100. So something around those lines looks good. So let's move on to the windowing settings. So what I'm going to do is give myself 250 samples, go inside denoising, check window, and I'm just going to leave it to NLM. And we can just now go up here, window image, and once you guys are done windowing, then we're going to do some compositing to give it some all-around glow. So I'll be right back. Okay, here we are with our finished window. I know mine looks a little bit weird, like right here, but that's completely fine since this is just a tutorial. But I'm sure it will look different for you guys because each piece that you use the cell fracture on is going to look different. So let's move on to some compositing. So in your layout, go over to the compositing tab, and we are going to add in, let's see. Okay, so once you're in the compositing view, just go up here and hit use nodes, and what we're going to do is add in a viewer node and plug the image into the image so we can see what we're doing. And I'm going to grab a glare node, plug it in up here, unplug from the image, and plug the viewer into the glare. And as you can see, we're already starting to get something in the background. So I'm going to change this to, I'm going to change streaks to fog glow, and change the mix to about 0.4. Something about there will do. So if we go back to our layout and then go over to our windowed image, we have the glow and everything, and it is done. So you can just go up here and save your image. So that is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, then leave a like, maybe even subscribe, and let me know what you guys would like to see in future videos. So see you guys in the next one.